Hey folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another vintage video. Today we're going to try out the Hogaak Vine deck. This is one of the three common Bazaar of Baghdad decks in vintage. If you're not familiar with this card, you probably haven't played vintage because it's everywhere. You tap it to draw two cards and then discard three cards. And this ends up being very good in decks that want to fuel their graveyards. And if you're playing a Hogaak deck, you probably want to be fueling your graveyard. So the idea is to play a bunch of creatures that can somehow enter the battlefield for free. So Basking Rootwall has Madness and can be cheated into play. Bloodghast comes back from the graveyard. If you activate a Bazaar of Baghdad, you discard three cards, right? So that makes Hollow One free. You can often do something where you go and you activate a Bazaar, you get a turn 1 Hollow One as a 4/4 threat, and then on turn 2 you can maybe like activate again, discard a couple of these, throw a Vengevine into play, and murder your opponent relatively quickly with aggro elements. There's not a lot of disruption here. You kind of have a few very good tempo plays at your advantage, but generally speaking, you're looking to get your opponent dead. Against opposing graveyard decks, you can try to keep their graveyard in check with Deathrite Shaman. You have Collector Oof to shut off opposing artifacts, as well as Force of Vigors in the main deck to muck with Moxen that your opponent might have, or just give you outs to things that shops might be doing in game one. The sideboard is relatively narrow. It has a bunch of graveyard hate for obvious reasons in this format, and a handful of cards to help you against decks like PO that are looking to cast a bunch of cards in a given turn. All right, let's jump into some games and see how they go.